There's a kind of silence at night that the day could never understand. A heavy, dense, almost living silence. For those who work while the rest of the world sleeps, that silence can be comforting, or it can become the worst kind of company. These stories you're about to hear were sent by real people. People who were awake while everything around them seemed dead. And for a few terrifying moments, they were certain that something was watching them back. These are 3 true stories from people who work the night shift. And after hearing these, you might think twice before ever accepting one again. Story 1. The School Watchman. Julian was a quiet man. He worked as a night guard at an old elementary school in a small town in Oregon. The building was ancient, long, cold hallways that echoed with every step. He used to say the ticking of the clock was his only company. At first, the job seemed simple enough. He'd walk the halls, jot down the time of each patrol, and sometimes hear the wind rattling the old windows. But starting in his second week, something strange began to happen. Every night at exactly 3:17 a.m., the lights in the main hallway would turn on by themselves. Always the same minute, always the same way. At first, he ignored it. The second time, he blamed it on faulty wiring. But the third night, he decided to see it for himself. He stood in the hallway, watching the clock glow on his wrist. 3:16, 3:17. The lights flicked on, and standing right there in the middle of the hallway was a little boy. He couldn't have been more than 8 years old, wearing the school uniform, but his face had no expression. His eyes were hollow, lifeless. "Hey, what are you doing here?" Julian asked, his voice trembling. The child slowly turned his head toward him, and in that instant, he was gone. No footsteps, no sound, just gone. The lights flickered again and went back to normal, leaving Julian frozen in place. The next morning, he told the principal what happened. She stayed quiet for a moment, before saying softly, "Julian, a few years ago, a student died here. It was an accident at night. Since then, nobody lasts long on that shift." Julian asked for a transfer that same day. But even now, the new guard says the lights still turn on at 3:17 a.m. And sometimes he swears he hears small footsteps echoing through those empty halls. Story 2. The ICU Nurse. Lydia always believed working in the pediatric ICU was an act of love. The children brought her hope, even through the loneliest nights. But one night, something happened that she's never been able to forget. It was a little past 2 a.m. when she heard a faint giggle coming from room 7. She checked the monitor. All the kids were asleep. Still, she decided to go take a look. The room was dark, lit only by the soft blue glow of the machines. Lydia walked slowly toward an empty bed. The little boy who'd been there had been discharged earlier that day. Then she heard it again, the giggle, this time louder, closer. She froze, and then she saw it. A small shadow cast against the wall, the silhouette of a child standing right behind her. She spun around, but the room was empty. Suddenly, one of the monitors started beeping wildly. The screen showed a racing heartbeat, but there was no one connected to it. Lydia backed away, her blood running cold. As she stepped out of the room, she felt a hand touch her shoulder. She turned, but the hallway was completely empty. The next morning, she told another nurse what happened. The older woman looked at her with teary eyes and said, "You heard the laugh, didn't you? Room 7? That was the boy who passed away here years ago. He used to laugh in his sleep, right before he went." Lydia never worked a night shift again, but she says sometimes, even at home, she wakes up in the middle of the night to that same soft, distant giggle echoing down her hallway.
Story 3: The Rideshare Driver. Paul had been driving for rideshare apps for about 3 years. He liked the quiet, no traffic, no rush. But one Tuesday night changed everything. At 2:48 a.m., he got a request. Pickup location: the gates of Riverside Cemetery. Destination: Maple Street, house number 14. Passenger: Elisa. He hesitated, but accepted. When he arrived, a woman appeared out of nowhere. Pale skin, long dark hair, simple clothes. She got in without a word, whispering the address softly. The ride was completely silent. Paul noticed how cold it felt inside the car, even though the AC was off. In the rearview mirror, he could see her reflection, still staring out the window. When they reached the address, he turned around. "Ma'am, we're here." But the back seat was empty. He looked down at his phone. The ride had been canceled. Confused, he opened the trip history. Her name was still there, Elisa. But when he tapped on her profile, the screen flickered and an error message appeared. The next morning, he told another driver what had happened. The man went pale. "Elisa? Dude, that woman died 2 years ago. She was hit by a car right in front of Riverside Cemetery." Paul never drove nights again. He says sometimes when he's on the road late and glances at his rearview mirror, he still feels that same chill, and the glass fogs up as if someone were quietly breathing behind him. Night may seem peaceful, but for those who work while the world sleeps, it hides things that don't belong to this side of reality. These stories remind us that the silence of the night isn't always empty. Sometimes it's just waiting for you to listen to what you were never meant to hear. If you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more true horror stories, and comment below. Have you ever experienced something strange while working the night shift? The best stories might be featured in the next video. Until then, good luck with your next shift. And remember, if you hear something moving in the dark, you might not want to look,